Welcome to the Thicc and Spooky Ghouls Podcast, where we discuss all things strange, paranormal, and unexplained.
These episodes are live recorded on Twitch and cut to fit Spotify's format. If you want to catch us live, we do our podcast once a month on Twitch.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Nope, that is not Bryttersbear, you guys. I messed up the taggy. They just finished with I believe they were doing the charity event this weekend. Meso, everybody was doing their charity event with them. So I was trying to get a shout out for them. But yeah, I'm so excited. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you guys here. Today we are doing episode 19 of the Thicc and Spooky Ghouls Podcast. 19. My mind is like, okay, we're pretty happy. Oh, my mic is quiet. Yeah, I don't know. Since we updated, the mic's been really quiet. Tell me if my mic's starting to get too loud. Please, I don't want to be too loud so that I don't talk over Meso and Britters when we get into the VC. Okay, thank you. So yeah, welcome everybody, episode 19, and I can't believe next month is episode 20th. We've got Birdie joining us for next month, and so yeah, I hope you guys had a great day. Thank you for coming in and joining us for this episode. Meso's a little under the weather, so we're gonna do our P&G models for tonight's stream, which is we've done it before. Actually, we've done it with Britt's episode too, when we had Brytt join us as well. So the first time Brytt joined us, because this is Britt's second time here, and that's Meso's waifu. My waifu's waifu, Bryttersbear. But you know, yeah, you guys should go and check them out, and I hope you guys are doing good. So let's go ahead and get into this VC with everybody. Unmute, okay, and say hello, Brytt, hello, Meso.
Hello.
All right, so yeah, welcome back to the Thicc and Spooky Ghouls Podcast.
Yes, thank you for joining us again, Brytt.
Seriously.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for the last minute stand-in. We had a different guest, but they're still recovering from being sick, so we needed a guest, and we had Brytt, who was ever so nice to help her waifu out with the show, and it's going to be her second time here, so she should be a familiar face. And yeah, last time she talked about a YouTube channel, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a YouTube channel.
Yeah, the Toast of Caramel Mate.
Yeah. So, yeah. So this is our other yokai episode, you guys. We love yokais here. How are you feeling, Meso?
Oh, I am alive.
Yeah. And then also congrats on work. I'm really, really proud of you. I'm glad you're
Thank
doing
you so much.
Absolutely great. And I'm glad to have you here. I know you're feeling under the weather, so I'm sorry, but I do appreciate you being
Yes,
here.
I'm sorry I couldn't show off the adorable little yokai shirt you got me. I feel terrible about it.
You can show it off some other time. But hello, Sassy
Oh,
Squatch.
goddamn right.
Yeah, Sassy Squatch was last month's guest, and we talked about Celtic mythology. So, yeah, she's very proud of you, Brytt says.
I'm very proud of her. We're all having all kinds of crazy work stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about different types of yokais. I had to be difficult this time around because, well, I found a topic that I really wanted, and then the covering or the articles that I could find for it was minuscule. So minuscule, so I didn't have enough information to make it into like one entire topic. So I ended up throwing in a second one. Well, technically a second and third one, but they're kind of one and the same, but a little bit different. So yeah, and so I'm covering a couple brothel yokais. And
Love that.
yeah, and that's why I wore my little Kappa shirt here, because last yokai episode that we did all together, Meso covered the Kappa, who has a love for cucumbers, very much so.
And buttholes.
And then you talked about the shirimi after that during Drag
Yep.
Vega's episode. You talk about the shirimi, the other one obsessed with the butthole. So
Buttholes, they love it, man.
I'm covering brothel yokai, and you're covering butthole yokai. It's great. And then Brytt, what are you covering for us today, my dear?
Called the Kama Itachi
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
or the sickle weasel,
Oh.
as we know in America.
All right. Well, I've never actually heard of that one. So, should we go ahead and get started, or do we have anything we want to bring up?
Sounds good to me.
How'd the charity event go, you guys?
Really well. Went really, really
Yeah, it
good.
went
I got to
really
egg the
good.
shit out of Vulgar.
It ended like 2 hours ago, right? Or is it still going till?
Yeah, around 6 something. Well, really, it was like 7 o'clock when he got done with the exit stuff. But yeah, it went really, really well.
Congrats, you guys. Yeah, so they're raising
Thank
money
you.
for AIM. This is the Black Collar Collective. So, and Britt's a part of that group as well. So you've got Meso and Britt over here who did the charity event for it this weekend.
Yes.
Yes, it's very good.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I don't want to keep us all waiting for too long. I will try and not go too quickly because I feel bad if the episodes are really, really short. So the yokai.
The cat wants food.
Oh, you want to feed them first, or I can talk.
No,
while
she's
you
not
feed.
allowed. She threw up, so she can't have food yet.
Oh,
She's just mad about it. You might hear, "Rawr."
darn it. Okay, well,
Sorry.
I feel for the kitty, but it's for your own good. All right, so I'm covering a couple brothel yokai. So the first one is the Taka-Onna, and the Taka-Onna is is um translates to tall woman. It is also known as the Takajo, but most of the people know it as Taka-Onna. And the Taka-Onna is a yokai with a very interesting hobby, and I really want to talk about it. So, like I said, I'm covering brothel yokai. So this is a little bit. She's a little bit spicy, but not too spicy. Okay, so
Love it.
you can actually only see these Taka-Onna if you are in either if you're in a particular particular district, let's just say it there. And the sightings of this specific yokai was peaking around the Edo period. The Edo period's our favorite period for a bunch of yokais. And during that time, during that time was when brothels and the yukaku, aka the pleasure districts, were really, really popular. And so most of the stories that you hear about the Taka-Onna is actually exchanged and usually seen around the pleasure districts or the red light districts of that area, whether it be, where it is. So that's actually where they reside. And their sightings continued until the war. A lot of things actually changed in Japan's overall, like, in the yokai and their like mythology. A lot of it just kind of like
Right.
died down after the war because they feared something greater than that, having to deal with the war.
Right. There was a lot going on for him.
Yeah, so I've like when I talked about the Bakineko and the Neko Mama, we talked about how around like the end of it was like the post-war period was like near the end of it in theaters and stuff like that, but then it continued on film. So yeah, so the Taka-Onna
Right.
is usually only sighted in the pleasure district, and they are actually usually like a Taka-Onna when they're not being a Taka-Onna. How do I explain this? I'll give you a brief description of the Taka-Onna and what it does. So the Taka-Onna looks like a regular woman, but when they sleep, their neck. No, sorry, the Taka-Onna. When they want to see certain things, they stretch their body and get really, really tall. So the Taka-Onna,
Ooh.
yeah. So yeah, they're usually like the Taka-Onna when you see them out in the streets when they're not doing their hobby, their special hobby. They are usually, they look like homely women most of the time, but yeah, so they look normal, they eat like a normal diet, but the only thing is that they can elongate their bodies and grow up to several meters high by stretching their upper torso. And
Damn.
so, yeah, they are a part of a yokai group called the Brothel Yokai. And yeah, there are a lot of yokai that are brothel specific yokai, and I'll cover 2 of them today, technically 3 of them today.
Well, that's
And
very interesting. It shows you how prevalent sex work was, you know?
oh yeah, big time, big time, big time. It doesn't surprise me. I was kind of like when if you guys watch Demon Slayer, they also have that entire Pleasure District saga as well. So I think it's crazy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So the
One of
Taka-Onna.
my favorite districts.
Hey.
That's
It's
right.
it's one of my favorite arcs. I love it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's the greatest. I mean, have 3 extremely beautiful wives who are super like unique and a really beautiful man. Yeah, it's great. Okay. Sorry. Drinking some water. So the Taka-Onna are frequently only spotted are frequently spotted. So the stories of the Taka-Onna drink the splashy stuff. Thank you, Rhino. And thank you for saying you're enjoying the stream. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in.
Yes,
I
welcome,
forgot.
Rhino.
I forgot to check the chat. Okay, we're good. We're good. The chat's up to date. And so a lot of the stories of the Taka-Onna are usually goes about like this. So they're frequently spotted peeking onto the upper floors of the brothels, and they like to peek at the activities happening
Right.
in these upper levels of the brothels. And so they a lot of stories is usually being spooked by a Taka-Onna looking through the window, peeking at uh yes, peeking at lovers doing loving things
Oh
to each other.
my.
And so they like to watch. They really, really like to watch. And they rarely attack humans because, like I said, their diet in particular is usually very normal. But they do enjoy terrorizing men and women who are often in the red light district or who work in the red light district. And you think, oh, they like to mess with them, but they also like to watch. But they don't watch because of what we think they watch. They actually watch in envy of these
Oh.
activities because they themselves will never know the pleasure or passions in life. So they watch these because they like to watch it, but they also are extremely, extremely envious of the activities happening since they themselves will never know this in their life. So the Taka-Onna apparently happens are what they say is to become a Taka-Onna, they usually say that it's like an ordinary woman who was too unattractive, too undesirable, too old to
Oh.
attract a man to marry. And
Oh.
so, because of their jealousy and their envy and their anger, they become more and more and more corrupt and twisted, causing them to transform into ugly and malicious monsters that just feed on people's sexual energy, but they will never truly be fulfilled. So, yeah, because of their basically what they see as failure in life, being unable to attract a mate, they their own self-loathing, their own like envy, their own darkness, their own
Right.
anger is what twists them around, and that's what's causing their bodies to like that's what gave their body the ability to stretch or whatever, you know. And
Right.
they do eat regular food, but they also feed in a different way on people's sexual energy. So that's why even though they're envious while they're watching it, they're also like it's like feeding them, making them
Yeah.
angrier, you know? So it's making them stronger the more they see this because it just feeds into their anger, which is kind of like their whole thing. The reason they become this creature is because of like the corruption within, you know?
Right. Yeah.
They prefer the cuck chair. Everybody needs one.
They
I'm not interested in a cuck chair. I need a cuck office desk. Thank you for that,
I mean, you
chat.
need comfort while you watch your cucking.
And Brit's like, voyeurs, all of them.
They
Oh,
like to
man.
watch.
They do. So the stories of the Taka-Onna was actually very whisper, and they usually don't talk lightly about it amongst people, and because for you to have a story about a Taka-Onna means you were in the red light district doing, whatever they can imagine you're
You're
doing.
being a little
Yeah,
bit
and so
naughty.
for you to have a story about a Taka-Onna means that people will kind of give you the little, hmm, yeah, you heard that
What
from,
were you doing there?
yeah,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. And so so yeah, they are often whisper. There isn't very much written record of it, but there's many stories about it. But like I said, a lot of people judge you and think that you're doing some unsightly things or some obscene
Right.
activities in said district because you have a story about a Taka-Onna.
You gotta love that stigma.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what a Taka-Onna is. That's why I said it's super short, and so I'm gonna cover another yokai right after that. But I want to show you guys what a Taka-Onna looks like. So there are actually a lot of illustrations of the Taka-Onna, but one of them is known as the Gazu, which depicts a woman with an elongated lower body, and she looks as if she's standing next to a brothel. So let me go ahead and get my pictures pulled up so I can share this with you guys. Here we go. I got that. I got to go in here. Where is our Discordia? There's our Discordia. I just want to share this. You guys should be able to see that picture in the Discord for our hosts. And then let me go ahead and show it to
Oh, very,
chat.
very interesting and creepy at the same time.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty sure if I
that's
was getting my naughty on and I looked over and saw that, that would pretty much instantly kill it for me.
yeah, so as you can see, this is a Taka-Onna. It's a woman who's like elongated and reached all the way to whatever floor this is, peeking at some activities in the room. And here's a prettier illustration of a Taka-Onna.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yep.
Like, I see you. Ghostwire Tokyo just hits all this lore.
Oh,
Yeah, I need to finish playing
you
it.
guys don't need to see that yet. You guys don't need to see that yet. I'm gonna hide that.
Spoilers.
You can't see the picture yet. Oh no, that's the next topic.
Don't look at it.
Oh no, you guys saw it. Oh dear. Oh god. My anxiety.
Don't you look at it.
Don't you look at that. All right. Let's go into our next topic that I'm covering, which is yet another brothel yokai, but this one has two forms. Kind of like when I talked about the Bakeneko and the Nekomata. Um it's this one and the same, but one is like a more intense version of said transformation. Okay. Because with the Bakeneko, one is just a long tail, and then the other one is its tail splits into two. So it's different. And so this one is we're gonna be talking about the Rokurokubi, and then we'll also be talking about the Nukekubi. But we're gonna start with the Rokurokubi. Okay, let me go ahead and pull up my notes. Sorry, you guys. Yeah. All right. So we talked about the Taka-Onna, which was the woman that can elongate her body. Now we're going to talk about the Rokurokubi and the Nukekubi. And so, like I said, these are also other brothel, but their story is much more sad and depressing than
Oh no.
that of like the Taka-Onna. Like they do that to themselves because of their lack of confidence in themselves and their self-loathing, right? So with the Rokurokubi and the Nekekubi, it's a lot sadder. So for my next yokai, I want to talk about the Rokurokubi and the Nekekubi. They are pretty much one and the same, kind of like the Bakaneko and the Nekomanta, as what I said earlier, with like the long tail and then the tail splitting is a different form. And this yokai actually dates as far back as the Edo period again. Of course, this was also when the brothels and the pleasure districts were also still popular. So it makes sense that if I cover future brothel episodes, it's going to probably go as far back as the Edo period, which is where
Right. Which is a super popular period for yokai to
oh
start spawning, essentially.
oh for sure. So after I researched on this specific yokai and learned more about this yokai, it actually became a really fast favorite. I actually like it more than the Taka-Onna because it has a lot of similarities to my ultimate favorite Filipino monster, which is the Manananggal, which we covered before in a previous podcast episode 5, part 3 on Spotify, or on YouTube it's just on episode 5. But yeah, we talk about the Manananggal. So after like reading and doing research on this, it definitely made me like fall in love with it because of like the fact that it's just so similar to the Manananggal in a different way. So the Rokurokubi are said to be just ordinary women by day, but at nighttime, when their bodies are sleeping, their necks actually start to stretch and allows their head to like float around and roam the house freely. And while it's floating, they actually like to hunt small animals, and then they use their long tongues, just like the Manananggal uses their tongues, where they drop it from the roof.
Right.
Yeah, so they use their long tongues and they eat like all the lamp oil. All the lamp oil in the house, they'll
Interesting.
lick up because like, it's usually made out of some kind of like food that they probably like. I can't remember what
Oil,
they're
like, yeah,
It's
whale
fish
oil
oil.
and
I
stuff
think
like
it's
that.
whale oil.
Mhm.
Yeah, fish oil or whale oil. So lamp oils, and they like to cause mischief and they like to scare people. So, but the thing is, like, the person that is sleeping, the body, doesn't know what its head is doing while it's asleep. So it is completely unaware of the mischief that happens at nighttime.
Interesting. So it's kind of like possessed.
Yeah, yeah. So the Nukekubi, which is the other form of the Rokurokubi, is actually like very similar to like mischief and all that stuff, but it's a little bit darker because that when the body of the Rokurokubi, when the Nukekubi, not the Roku, the Nukekubi, when it's asleep, the head actually detaches from its body and floats
that's
around the house.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
What just happened?
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh my
Time out.
goodness.
Dak attack. Oh my god. Dak.
Oh my goodness.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Thank you for those 10 gifted subs. What? Thank you,
We
Dak.
love you, Dak.
We love
What?
you.
Did we
I
just become best
appreciate
friends?
you.
Yep.
I'm so
And Rhino
sweet.
said, "What that tongue do?"
Well, it likes to lick up that oil. It's
What? Did
Nightmare
we just become best friends? Yep.
But thank you for those gifted subs, Dak. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for coming in and watching us, and welcome in everyone that's
What?
coming
Did
in
we
for
just
the
become
podcast.
best friends? Yep.
We are on episode 19. And yeah, I'm so excited. Hi, Dak. What's up?
What? Did we just become best
episode 19.
friends? Yep.
I can't believe it. Episode 19 is crazy to me. Am I live?
Yeah, time flies, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, you're live.
Okay.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a few more minutes so that I have a place for the video to crop for when I'm like posting it on Spotify. But thank you
What?
so much,
Did we
Dak.
just become best
You're
friends?
welcome.
Yep.
I get to see you soon. I know I get to see you soon too, Dak. I'm excited for when you come and visit. I am. I'm so excited. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Take pictures for me.
What? Did
Yeah.
we just become best friends? Yep.
You can blame this visit primarily on Tradozer and Baguette because yeah, and Tradozer and
What?
Baguette
Did we just
get
become
to
best
meet you
friends?
before I
Yep.
get to meet you, and I'm a little bit heartbroken.
Yes.
A little heartbroken, but it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Fine. But yeah. So thank you for those gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Dak. Let's get back into the topic. Okay, what
I
did I
love when
say
people get to
last?
meet each other.
Right?
Have you met Dak in person yet, or is this your first time?
It's gonna be our first time.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so where did we end up with? Hold on, I gotta find my notes. The Edo period. Well,
You're
we're
talking
done.
about heads detaching.
Yes. So the Nukekubi is very much like just a different form of the Rokurokubi, but the difference is, like I said, instead of having a long neck that stretches from the body, their head completely detaches from their body, kind of like the Manananggal's upper torso detaches from its legs. So, you know, you can see why I'm like
Right.
obsessed with the Nukekubi. Like I'm obsessed with it because I just think it's so cool. The
It's very
Nukekubi
similar.
primarily is my favorite. Nukekubi is my favorite, not the Rokurokubi. It's the Nukekubi.
It's a fun name.
Yeah, it's the Rokurokubi. My mouth is like, I can't do it. It struggles with
Oh,
it.
you already know I'm not gonna be able to pronounce shit.
But so their head completely detaches from their body. And actually, in some sources say that if the body of a Nukekubi is moved, the head can no longer attach to the body. So kind of like the Manananggal, if you remove the torso and the sun comes up at night, it dies because it can't attach to its body, or you can put the spices on its lower legs so it can't attach to its body. I don't know what happens to the head of the Nukekubi when you don't move the body, but I think it just exists. It's just like a dream state where the body will never move and it's just going to be a floating head in
that's
your house.
creepy.
You know what I mean? Ooh.
Who doesn't love that?
So, unlike the Manananggal, which feeds on blood and fetuses and all that stuff, the Nukekubi lives on a diet of lamp oil and, like I said, will attack small animals. And when there's no oil in the house, but they'll only attack small animals if there's no oil. So if you have no oil for it to eat, then if you have a cat, your cat might get eaten.
Get munched on, yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. And
It's gonna find that oil one way or another.
and the most harm they typically do to humans is to give them a fright, which is normal and very mischievous, but it's very much like what the benevolent yokai is about, right? They like to creep things. They like to creep people. So,
Oh yeah.
unlike most yokai, the Rokurokubi and the Nukekubi aren't actually born monsters. They are actually made. And unlike the Manananggal, where it's the person's choice to turn into a Manananggal, the curse of the Rokurokubi or the Nukekubi is actually a curse that happens to a person either because they were doing something bad like cheating on their partners, or the worst thing is that the curse came from someone in your family doing something wrong. Perhaps they sinned against like the gods of nature, and perhaps they were unfaithful to their husband or whatever, but like the family's evil deeds are like, it's a curse coming from their family's evil deeds. And it gets even worse because most of the cases, the curse is caused by either that person's husband or that person's own father.
I was literally about to say, so paying for the sins of your father, essentially.
Yep. So
That sucks.
which is so
Terrible.
unfortunate because like
Boo.
with everything going on right now in our society, it's just like, yeah, I guess it never ends.
I was gonna say,
it hasn't
right?
changed,
Yeah.
right? Because it's unfortunate because these women are cursed, and the men who are doing the bad deeds don't get cursed, but the women in their
punished.
family get cursed instead.
Isn't that about fucking right?
Right? And if the
Typical.
curse remains uncured, the curse can be passed on to the daughters of the cursed person. So
Wow, so
any
it's like a
afflicted,
generational.
yeah, so it becomes a generational curse. So it's a curse that comes from either your husband or your father. If you don't do it yourself,
Mhm.
it's a curse that comes from them. And if you don't find a cure for it, which I tried to find a cure for it on the interwebs, and I don't have a cure for it. So I can't answer any questions on what the cure is because I don't
Interesting.
know.
So there might not even be one, or it might just be very secretive or lost the time.
Or
even.
it might be based on righting the wrong deed, or
That would make sense.
fessing up, or like some kind of consequences, or owning up to the bad deed. I don't know. Maybe that's how it's broken.
I
But I
wonder if
could not find like a cure for said curse. And I think because it's a curse relating to something, I think that something must be corrected. Or,
So
this
I
will
wonder
happen.
if, but say like you said, owning up for it, I wonder if the husband or the dad would have to be the one to be like, this is my fault, or if it's like the woman's responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I wish I knew. I tried, but I was not lucky in my search. My internet googling was not good enough, but it's okay. So it's
Google
an
foo.
yeah. So this curse could come from your father or your husband, and you are now afflicted, and so therefore you can pass this curse on to your daughters. So you're cursing more children. And due to this fact, this is why they're a brothel yokai. Any woman that was afflicted by this curse would be sent to brothels or and sold to brothel houses, or they get sold to circuses or pretty much anything that will take them away from home to avoid continuing to dishonor their family. So,
Interesting. So really, what that sounds like is an excuse for fathers or husbands to sell their wives or daughters to brothels.
pretty pretty pretty
Yeah,
much. So,
maybe to pay
so
off debts.
yeah, or they just don't want
Keep them around.
them around because it's considered a
Hmm.
dishonor. And so because of that, they send them away because it's shaming their family. And yeah. So let me
Rhino
go
said,
ahead.
"Imagine being such a dick that your entire extended family is cursed. Imagine
Right?
having to pay for your father's curse, your father's or husband's bullshit,
Yeah.
and then getting sent away for it.
Yep.
Ain't that the way, though?
Yep.
I'd murder him. I'd kill him.
So this is a Rokurokubi right over here. It's
Oh,
an
that's
illustration of it,
creepy.
isn't it? Yeah, so this is the one with the long neck that can extend, and when the body is asleep, the head wanders, and the body is sometimes unaware of the shenanigans that the head has been up to. So,
Oh, that's really beautiful though at the same time.
mhm.
That one. I love the artwork.
Oh, did I not like show you guys on I don't think I showed it in our Discord, did I? Did I?
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry.
That's okay. I'm watching on
Okay,
stream.
okay, okay. There we go. Okay, so that's another one. Where is my OBS? I lost it. There we go. And then so that's a Rokurokubi, and then this is a Nukekubi. And so this one I think is a beautiful piece of art, but yeah, its head's completely detached.
A lot of the yokai art is very beautiful, but this one, yeah, I really like that. You can tell that one's an older one too, just by the style. Ooh, now I'm looking at the one with the horns. That's sick. I love
Yep.
that. It's
Yeah,
like an
it's
ethereal tie to the head from the body. It's like a
That
non-existent but
one's really
existent
pretty.
tie. Yeah.
mhm.
So
Like
it's like it isn't attached by like a neck or anything like that, but it's like an ethereal attachment. You know what I mean? Like a invisible string.
yeah, so that string gets broken if the body moves. So it's just an illustration that it's
Oof.
floating. And so when the body gets
Right.
moved, which this body clearly was moved, you can see that it got detached.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then with this one, you can see that there's a white string that still attaches it to the head. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a faint
Hmm.
white string that attaches the head to it. But yeah, it's usually just floats around, detached from the body, but spiritually attached to the body until the body gets moved and it gets attached, and then bye bye body, you are dead now. So
Dude, that's
yeah.
a nightmare. Especially because the body doesn't know what's going on, so it's not like it can consciously wake up when someone starts fucking with it.
Nope. So
All because some asshole.
I agree. So I have a couple legends about each story. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of the legends about the Rokurokubi and the Nukekubi. All right. So Lord noticed that his oil lamps that the oil in his lamps were constantly vanishing at an alarming rate, and suspected one of his servant girls might be a Rokurokubi. He decided to spy on the girl, After she had fallen asleep, he crept into her room and watched over her. Soon he noticed
Hey, don't do that.
vapors and ectoplasm foaming around her chest and neck. A little while later, the servant girl rolled over in her sleep. However, only her body moved. The head stayed in its place, and the neck lay stretched out between the two. The next day, he fired her. She was fired from every place at which she subsequently worked. The poor girl never understood why she had such bad luck with her employment. She never found out that she was a Rokurokubi.
Yeah, that's. You fear someone be like, hey, do you know you're like possessed? Your head like floats around and eats oil at night? Are you aware of
Nope.
that?
They just fire her without,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Like,
So,
you gotta get out of here. Why? Just cause, get out. I feel like it's important information you should give somebody.
okay. Next is a Nukekubi legend. A famous account from the Ichizen province or the Fukui prefectures tells us of a young woman afflicted with a curse of the Nukekubi. Her head flew about the capital city at night, chasing young men through the streets all the way back to their houses. Locked out, the head would stretch and bite their doors and gates during the night and leave deep gashes on the wood. When the young girl eventually discovered her curse, she was so ashamed that she asked her husband for a divorce. She ritually cut off her hair in repentance and committed suicide. She believed it was
No.
better to die than to live the rest of her life as a monster.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
bummer,
Damn.
bro.
yeah. So
Damn,
that
these bitches just
is
getting screwed over.
right. And so that's why I was so scared that it wasn't going to be a long enough podcast because that's all three of them. That's all three. That's all three of them. Technically two, but three because each one's a little bit different.
Hey, I'm gonna say not everything has to be in an hour. I'm sure people are
Yeah.
gonna get. I mean, that's a lot. Like, that's still a lot of information to process, man. Because I just feel so bad.
Oh yeah. It's really unfortunate for the ladies, like especially
They're really
like
getting
with the ones
screwed
that are
over.
cursed because of their family. So since I
Right.
finished with my topic, we're gonna do a quick break, refill our waters, and we'll be right back. And then we're gonna have our beautiful guest Brytt join us and tell us about her yokai. So give us
Woo.
a few minutes. We'll be right back, you guys. All right, here we go. Running an ad. And she is going to tell us about her topic. But hello, welcome back, ladies.
Hello, hello. So mine didn't have too much information either. But I am doing the Kama Itachi or the sickle weasel, which is found in the Koshin Etsu region and often described as weasels but with long, sharp, sickle-like claws. So typically, yokai are described as having spiritual or supernatural abilities, with shape-shifting being the most common trait associated with them. Yokai that shape-shift are known as bakemono or obake. Specifically for the Kama Itachi, as I said, they're described as a weasel-like creature with sickle-shaped claws, and they cut people with seemingly painless wounds. They are said to ride on whirlwinds and often appear out of nowhere, leaving victims with cuts that don't bleed or cause immediate pain, leaving their victims often unaware that anything happened until later.
Well, what
Interesting.
happens?
It's not like
later?
a vampire bat.
Like, how do they not? Like, how do they do it? Wait.
Hey, we'll get into that.
Okay.
They also take a lot of pleasure in just making people trip and fall, or causing some form of injury. They enjoy it.
Wow.
Those damn sickle weasels.
I love these weasels. They are my favorite. And they're also useful scapegoats for inconvenient injuries. A woman in Niigata, after injuring herself during a nocturnal tryst, successfully deflected attention by blaming the weasel for her wounds.
Oh.
When in doubt, blame the yokai.
It's the yokai's fault.
That's right.
Always. So they're rationalized in a number of ways, including pieces of sharp debris tossed around in whirlwinds, which, as I said earlier, they're known to ride on these whirlwinds. The Tanaka suggested that the Kama Itachi disease was the result of temporary vacuums forming from stray air currents, slicing skin that came in contact with them. Such vacuums would be common in the mountainous areas and thunderstorm conditions. So they tend to like hanging out in the mountains. You will very rarely see them out in the city. That's not their preferred playing ground of where they create their mischiefs and injuries. They prefer the mountainous regions.
Well, I feel like it's easier to be sneaky when you're out in the, in the mountains. A lot easier to get people alone.
Yeah, I can see why they would do that. It's just funny to me, weasels in the mountains for some reason.
That's not where you belong.
Yeah, you don't go to mountains. Stop that.
Silly weasel.
So the most famous version of the Kama Itachi originates in the mountains of the Mino and Haida regions, and today is considered the prefecture of Gifu, where it seems that it appeared as a trio of weasels.
Oh.
So that's why you have that's why I sent you that picture of singular weasels and triple weasels. If you don't care to show that.
Oh yeah, I'll be happy to show it right now.
Let me see them weasels.
Look at this weasel with the dangerous blades. They look like sloths almost. They look like they have the sloth claw right there.
It's sickles.
And look at them. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I like this one.
They're kind of adorable still.
I like this one. This one's a little cutie.
They're my
favorite. I'd be mad at first and I'd be like, "Aw."
Oh, we got a little Tasmanian devil action going on.
How could I be mad at that?
It reminds me of that.
Look at them.
It reminds me of that ad that pops up on some social media where it's like this guy that's running around this map with a bunch of things attacking him and he's got a spitting sword that multiplies. It just reminds me of that now. Oh, I like this.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Do you play it? I do not.
No.
But I've seen so many ads for it. Look at the size comparison to a human.
Oh my goodness! Holy shit!
Nice. That is scary.
Oh, it's smaller. Okay, it's smaller than I thought. I thought it was the one on the left. I was like, that's fucking huge.
No, yeah, I was gonna say they're smaller.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that would make more sense of why you wouldn't notice either as much.
Small but deadly.
That's right.
So this is where your question came in, Daku. That trio of weasels.
Yeah.
So the most common lore is that it's a singular weasel, but there is also lore that there's a trio of them. So the first one would make the victim stumble, the second one would cut the skin of the legs, and the third one cured the wound with a medicine able to eliminate the pain. What? So it just they like creating chaos.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. I like them.
Vampire bats in real life actually have a numbing agent in their mouths that kind of does something similar when they like feed. It numbs it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that reminds me of.
Vampire bats are my favorite bats. They're adorable.
They're awesome.
So yeah, that's an answer to your question for how you don't notice. The three weasels are the ones that make the victim stumble. The second one cuts, and then the third one is like, here, have some pain medicine.
Oh my goodness. So I used to play Heroes of the Storm and there's the Vikings, right? Imagine if they introduced these three little weasels that each one has a specific task. Oh my goodness.
I would love that.
I love that they're so mischievous but so evil. They're all like, they won't even know what happened. I'm gonna cut this person and they're gonna heal right away. It's, oh my god.
Tiny evil weasels.
Weasels are my favorite, and that's why I had two ferrets.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I do too.
Ferrets are not legal in California still.
So. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're illegal pets here.
Huh.
I mean, it makes sense. They're hard to care for if you don't know what you're doing, and a lot of people don't, which is very upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear, oh, they stink. I'm like, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, if they're descented and you feed them right, they very rarely stink. And if you clean out their cages at least once a
Yes.
week, I like
That's
the
big thing
smell
is
of
people
them.
don't clean. Because they always kind of smell, I guess, like that. They have like a muskiness to them, but they don't like,
Mhm.
if you clean out the cages and stuff like properly and like you said, feed them and bathe them and all that stuff, they should not stink. Hella bad.
Actually, you shouldn't bathe a ferret unless
Really?
absolutely necessary. Yeah, because that's where a lot of the stinkiness for them comes from, is people
Oh.
overbathe them. And the entire time I had Fidget and Tonks, we bathed them collectively. We had them for 7 years. Collectively, we bathed them maybe 12 times.
Interesting.
Because
See,
their oils tend to overproduce
I was about to
if
say
they get
it's
cleaned
the
too
oils.
much.
Yeah. Because they're
Yep.
See,
yeah.
I probably overbathed mine then, but they like to get in the litter box because it's when I lived with my mom, and they like to roll around in actual shit. So I'm just like, all right, get in there.
So
It's-
so you've got the 3
Mhm.
weasels, the tripper, the cutter, and the healer. What else we got?
But the
about
most
these?
popular one is the singular weasel. But I like the 3 because
I like the 3
there's a chunky
too.
one in there.
I like
like the
all
And I love
3 of
it.
them together. I love that their mischief is absolutely terrible, but also kind of cute. It's hard to be mad at them. So I like the 3 too. The 3 are great.
So they're known for their cunning, their dexterity, and the weasel represents both intelligence and adaptability, which have clearly made their mark in Japan's rich history. And their appearance is different from region to region, which is often what you hear about
Right.
for
Yokai.
every region in Japan concerning yokai. This particular 3 weasel representation is attributed to Toriyama Sakian, who was the first to associate the apparition to the weasel. He performed a play on words, actually, with these weasels. And how their name came about comes from the Kama Itachi or Tachi attack, to translate it into Kama Itachi, which is the sickle weasel we all know and love today,
Oh,
or the weasel with scythe.
I like the
He's just
weasel.
a little guy.
I kind of
He's
want
just
a
a little
pin.
snatty guy.
I want a weasel with a knife pin. I have like an otter with a knife. I have like a possum with a knife,
Oh,
but now I
yokai
need
pins
a
would be so
weasel.
good.
Yeah.
I was thinking of making Bishop print stickers for me of the weasel,
I would
so I
love
could
that.
have some. Well, you would definitely get some, obviously.
I say I need me a sickle weasel immediately.
I'll draw
Now that I
something
know
up
they
and
exist, I can't not have one. So
I'll draw one up and we'll get a sticker sheet printed and we'll send Daku one too.
Thank
two
you.
artistic bitches.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oof.
So, in Niigata Prefecture, however, the Kama Itachi was a single spirit, but is much more aggressive since it's working alone. So its victims could not get rid of it. It wanted to be present, and it wanted to make everybody's problem that it was a singular weasel working on its own.
He said, "No, I'm here, and you're gonna fucking know about it."
I couldn't find, though, if the singular weasel did the same thing as the 3. So I know
Right.
for a fact that the singular one trips, cuts, it's very mean, but I could not find if it actually, like, did the medicinal part.
Right.
But from what I have read, the singular one, you don't notice right away that you're hurt, but later you're in great pain. So I don't think it does the medicinal part. I think it's just like, you're gonna know
wants
about
you
me
so
later,
bad.
buddy.
Yeah. He's supposed to trip and cut you. He doesn't care about healing you. He wants you to know you're
Exactly.
there.
He does. And tying in with Daku's thing, in the Edo period, in the essay Sozan Chomen Kishu, sorry, I'm not Japanese, I have terrible pronunciation.
That's
By
just commonplace here.
It's one of us. One of us.
One of us.
In the Edo period, in the essay Sozan Chomen Kishu by Miyoshi Shozen, a feudal warrior of Owari, it is said that the wounds from a Kama Itachi does not result in pain or bleeding at first, but afterwards causes intense pain, and I assume this is for the singular weasel.
Right.
So it causes intense pain and great amounts of bleeding, so much that sometimes even the bones can be seen from the wound opening.
Oh, God.
And there is risk of death. Since these wounds are often received on the lower part of the body, it also states that a Kame Taichi cannot jump higher than about 1 shaku or about 30 centimeters. Also, according to Miyoshi Shozen, a Kame Taichi live in puddles after rain, which I think is adorable.
That is adorable. Adorable and deadly.
And since they live in these puddles after rain, it is said that there are those who played in puddles and those who crossed rivers encountered them. So they're just everywhere and they are ready for a fight.
Aggressive
They said,
type.
stay out of my swamp.
They are the personification of that.
I used
So
to play Neopets. I used to play Neopets,
Mhm.
and you would have like a descriptor of like the pet's like temperament, right? And this one aggressively approaches. That's what these guys are. They're the aggressively approaches ones.
Yeah.
Aggressive little weasels. Oh my god. Carry on.
I love it.
Sorry.
They are so aggressive, and I love them very much for it. So they are, as you can tell, they are often the scapegoats of anything that, any kind of cut, they're often the scapegoat of. Or any terrible injuries. They're, especially in the mountainous regions, they are blamed for everything.
Right. Classic.
Can you imagine being these three weasels hanging out, right? They're in the woods hanging out, and then this person just like decides to like trip their friend, right? And then like while you're sitting there chilling, that random person just says, "Oh, it was the weasels." I would be fucking pissed, you guys. I would be like,
No,
"Oh,
it's a
really?
murder weasel.
Oh, really? let me give you the 1, 2, 3." Actually, no, we're
I
just
feel
gonna
like
do the 1,
that's
2.
why they're so aggressive. So they could not
tired
get
of
rid of it.
shit.
They're like, nah,
They're like, "We're always
we are
blamed."
petty and we're here.
They're like, screw it, might as well actually start doing it.
Challenge accepted.
So that's the story of them, but they have a lot of symbolism throughout other cultures. Like, ugh. Sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. Gross. So
Pumpkin.
they have it wasn't pumpkins, surprisingly. I think it was mine,
yeah.
which is even
No.
just as gross.
Stop blaming others. We were just talking about blaming the weasels and how
Oh,
that's
God,
messed up.
you're
Don't
right.
blame it on the kitty cat.
The weasels are gonna come for me. It's her beagle. He's a little
Yeah, don't
cuddly
blame it
face
on
boy.
the poor little puppy. Don't blame it on that. Oh my goodness. How dare you? The weasels will trip you later.
They say they're coming for me now. They know my sins.
So their story is very short and to the point, but there's a lot of symbolism in other cultures to these weasels. Like in Greek cultures, they're seen as a sign of bad luck, especially for those preparing to marry. And they are believed to destroy wedding dresses. However, Hecate took on a weasel as a familiar. So I think that's just for
Interesting.
jilted lovers. They just destroy the
Uh-huh.
wedding dresses, but, weasel.
Wait, did you Hecate or Heck? Is it? Are we talking about the same one?
Hecate,
Oh, I don't know
the
how to
Greek
pronounce.
culture.
Oh, because I think it's Hecate.
I've always heard it pronounced as Hecate.
Oh, I hear it pronounced as Hecate.
I-
Hecate, but yeah, either way, now I know. She has a pet weasel.
As a familiar, yes. That is her choice of familiar.
Love that.
But in my practices of religion, I've always heard it pronounced as Hecate, and I also prefer Hecate as a god or a goddess because of the weasel familiar.
I mean, yeah.
Because
It's
I
kinda
had
like
two.
the one up right there.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So the general perception is in many cultures, weasels are associated with sneaky or cunning individuals. The phrase weasel words is used to describe vague or misleading language. So again, weasels are being blamed for everything.
I was about to say, you
No
always
wonder
hear
they're
people
so
being like, "You're
mad."
being a weasel," or "Don't be a
But
weasel."
with Daku's game reference of adding weasels in the medieval bestiary, weasels are depicted as hearing the word of God but not acting on it.
They're like
Oh, wow.
cats. They're like, fuck you. I heard ya,
I do what I
but
want.
fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Oh,
They
man.
said I do it on my own time, actually. Thank you.
But in other cultures, they're regarded as resourceful and courageous and agility. So in some cultures, they're actually respected and not used as a derogatory thing, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
great because I love
Love that.
weasels and I do not like the badness put on them.
No, they're
Weasels
getting
are
a bad rap.
adorable.
Yeah.
They do have presence in media though, which is really nice. Like my Ghostwire Tokyo game is where I kind of first saw them, and I immediately fell in love with them. They're adorable, they're chunky, and they're fast, and they like to create chaos, which is just perfect.
We can
I
all
love it.
appreciate that.
You can also see them in video games like Monster Hunter Rise. It's called the Izuchi and Gran Izuchi, and the appearance of those two monsters is based on the Kama Itachi.
Oh,
So I thought that was pretty neat because I like the Monster Hunter series as well.
don't you love it when you research a topic, right? And then that topic then relates to a game that you've played before or a game that you've heard of, and you're like, oh my
Yes.
God. Yeah, I love it. I love it when it makes it to our media.
Well, it also made it in 3 other pieces of media that I really enjoy, which is Naruto, and I don't know if anyone watches it here. It's one of, I'm sure somebody has, but Itachi's name means weasel,
Yes.
and that's Sasuke's
Interesting.
brother. So I thought that was really funny because we all know how that ended for the Uchiha clan. Goddamn. And then
Say,
in
I don't, but I assume not well.
it is not well. It is not good. It isn't really good. And then in Inuyasha, at the beginning of the episode titled "The Vortex on the Right Hand," the deviant monk Moroku fights a weasel-like demon that could be traced back to the Kama Itachi.
Nice.
And Kagura rides on the wind, carried by a giant feather, and fights hurling blades of wind, which is also a reference to the sickle weasel. And in
Love
One
that.
Piece, the pirate Cavendish has an alter ego known as Ramel's Kama Itachi, and is partly inspired by the creature as well. So I thought that was really cool little pieces of media
Mm-hmm. And
that kind of reference it.
actually, a lot of
I love how
yokai
much
get.
yokai.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah,
Mickey,
exactly.
please.
You're literally about to say what I think I was about to say.
Yeah, we're in the same
So to
page.
reference so much, yeah, and anime and manga and stuff is so cool.
Yeah, because Naruto had a Bakeneko and a Nekomata form as well, so it made it into that. And of course, Sailor Moon had the Nekomata and the Bakeneko. So there's like lots of like anime in general because of the fact that anime's roots are in Japanese culture and yokai
Right.
are Japanese culture. It's really really cool when you research a yokai and figure out that, oh my God, it's in one of my favorite animes, or it's referenced, or
Right.
made some kind of mention in this anime, and you know what the mention is. You're just like, yes, it's a win.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how much anime and manga refers to, the yokai and the folklore from Japan, because in other cultures' media, I mean, obviously there's definitely going to be some references to like folklore and shit like that, but you don't see it nearly as much. Like they really pull from there a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, I that's why I enjoy anime so much though, is because there's so much Japanese lore in there that you don't really
Right.
catch at first watch. So it's
Yeah.
really neat to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just glad that the sickle weasel found its place in media, even if it's still a little asshole. I love it.
So
It's my favorite thing.
So you know how you like Hecate.
Pronounce it however you do.
Okay, Hecate's it. It's funny that you mentioned that she has a pet weasel, because mine is Bastet, and she is what inspired Catwoman to exist. So I just think it's really cool that
I love that. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Bastet was the inspiration for Catwoman. So, and that's why there's actually like certain like sometimes you'll like I think everything that I've watched that has Catwoman, she always has a Bastet statue somewhere in her like furniture. So I just thought it was really really cool. But yeah,
And also in like the video game for her, the eye that they use is a reference to that god as well.
yeah.
It's really
So
cool.
yeah, so that's my witchy guide is Bastet. So that's why I just think it's great.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh man. Do we have anything else that we want to bring up before we take a quick break for more refreshing and before we get ready for Miso's topic?
No, there wasn't much on it, unfortunately. I tried to stretch it
Oh,
as
it's
much
still
as I
really
could.
cool to
No,
know,
but
if
that
I
was
say.
still a lot, and that was actually a lot of
Yeah,
really fun
especially last
information.
minute. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, being a last minute guest, like seriously,
You
thank
had
you
like
for
2
covering with
days.
us.
Yeah, so.
Right? So thank you.
So it's
Thank
very
you.
appreciated. And I love it. I love the little stabby weasels.
I love the
I
weasels.
love the stabby weasels too.
I like the trio. The trio is great.
Oh yeah, the chunky one's my favorite. I really want to hold it and just squish it.
You can stab me.
All right. So let's take a quick breaker real quickly. Do what we need to do refresh, and then we'll be back, and then we'll do my lovely waifu Miso's topic. So we'll be right back, you guys. Let's get back into it over here. Hello, welcome back, my lovely ladies. And
Hello.
Miso, what is your topic and how do you spell it? I'm sorry.
I don't think Misa's back just yet.
Oh, she's not back yet? Okay, we can wait. We can wait. We can wait. We can just talk. But how have you been, my dear Brytt?
Exhausted. But
Exhausted.
very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too. Congrats again. Oh
Thank
man.
you. And how have you been?
I'm okay. You kind of heard about the situation that I've had to deal with so in our little pre-chat before the show, but that's been a lot on my mind and we've got the new cats that we're
Sorry, I'm back.
having. Hey baby, welcome back. The new cats and having to get them like into our house and yeah, it's been really we've been spending a lot I've actually been spending less and less time on my computer. Thank you for that follow, Luna Gaming. Welcome in. We're happy to have you. So I've been spending less and less time on my computer because one of the things that I told myself for this year was that I would not be living on Discord, you know what I mean? Because my mental
Right.
health struggled, like my environment struggled, and it's just one of those things I was constantly up and down with my like mental state, it was constantly like, oh, I'm happy and I'm fine now, and then I'm not. So taking myself away from my computer, I started meditating, which is something that I've been doing. And then after meditating, I've also been getting back into working out. So I got into some yoga. So I'm learning how to do yoga.
Nice.
I am terrible
Proud
and
of
really
you.
bad, and everything hurts. And beginning is not beginning with one of the trainers. And so I'm going to avoid all of her courses because her stuff is harder than the other two people. So I'll watch their videos and train that way rather than hers. I'll save her when I'm like better. Right now, she's just like, do this and this. And I'm like, no. And then she's like, inhale, exhale, and I'm like panting. She's like, inhale, hold, exhale, and I'm literally just heaving, and I'm just like, yeah, no, this is not it. This is not the life for me. So I've been working more on my health and all that stuff. Welcome in, Luna Gaming. Glad to have you here. And yeah, so we've been so I've been doing that and I've been spending a lot of time in the backyard. We got our fire pit set up, so I've been enjoying a lot of outdoor time and I'm trying to make friends with our squirrels in our neighborhood. AKA we have 3 squirrels that
sounds
actually
fun.
live in our tree. So I've been
Pretty true.
you'd think I was a lunatic just sitting in the backyard talking to squirrels. Just talking. They're just like the squirrels aren't talking back, but it's okay. I know they know what I'm saying. If
They say they know you know that they're there, and they know that you're there. They know what's up.
Yeah, they know. They're fine. So, Miso, what is your topic for us today, and how do you spell it?
It's spelled Gash
Okay,
SH
Gash.
Adokuro.
Uh,
Gashadokuro?
Yep, Gashadokuro, which I'm gonna say wrong every time.
Nope, you're fine.
But say, as you guys know, I can't pronounce things at all, and there's quite a few things pronounced in here, so that's gonna be wonderful. I'm sure nobody's gonna be, oh my god, these trains. I just had one go by.
Yeah.
1 second.
It's not a Thicc and Spooky Ghouls podcast episode without a train. That's our guess. That's a part of the show. It's just a part of it. They just like to feature all the time. So the Gashadokuro, I think. We'll
Yeah,
see.
Gashadokuro, something like that.
Mhm.
But yes, it's the Gashadokuro, also known as Odokuro. Its name translates to the rattling skull or giant skull.
Okay.
So the Gashadokuro are giant skeletons that are 32 to 90 feet tall, depending on the source. And they look pretty damn scary. And if you wouldn't mind pulling up the pictures of them.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, look how cool it is. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna share it on Discord too, so you can be in the same pace as me. There you go. It should be there now, babes. Meso?
Oh, that's really cool looking.
Sorry, train.
Oh, it's okay.
Decided to honk again.
No, it's okay. We can wait. We can wait. I was just like, did we get disconnected? My little panic. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so hopefully the train is done now because it
Hopefully.
honked like 6 times and then it stopped and then it honked again. So I don't know what he's doing out there.
He
But
just
yes,
wanted
this
to
is the
feature.
Gashadokuro. Right, he's like, I'm
He
I'm
said,
here.
"Hi, chat. Choo choo. Hello, chat." Okay, carry on.
But as you can see, they're fucking humongous
Yeah.
and very cool but scary.
Oh, I love this. This is beautiful.
Yeah, some really cool art with them.
Oh yeah, this is gorgeous. Oh. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I really like how much details in that one.
That's correct. I love how like it's long. It's like a long one, you know?
It's a long, long boy.
It's a long, long boy. But it looks like it's cut off over here. I wonder if it's like on two different canvases or two different pieces put together. Because there's like a line here. Like, do you see the line that I see?
Yeah, I do see that. Yeah, there's one behind it too.
And there's a line here. Maybe it's just part of the style of it all.
Interesting. But say maybe it's just the style.
Or it could be a wall that was photographed, but no.
True, that too.
Yeah, I don't know, but it looks amazing. Wowza.
Yeah, I thought they looked really, really cool. I was looking through all the yokai and I was like, that's pretty sick. I like that. Let's do that one. Oh goodness. 1 second. Sorry, this shit just
okay.
closed on me.
We're just gonna
I'm
admire
having all
this.
the mess right now.
We're just gonna admire this beautiful art piece.
Okay,
all.
there it is. But yeah,
I think
that
the
is
second one's my favorite.
Yeah, I really
the
love
little
artwork.
girl. Oh my god. Yeah, this one is
Poor
so
bitch.
beautiful. Look how it's very eerie and I love it. It's really cool. Is that supposed to look like the sun and the moon? Or is it just my mind making things up?
I love the idea. But I never didn't see anything about that, but I do like the idea behind that.
That's cool. This one when I saw, I was just like, that is so ethereal. It's so pretty.
It's very.
But they're huge.
They're very eerie. They're huge. Yes, they're absolutely humongous. 32 to 90 feet tall. But yeah, that is the Gashadokuro. And its eyes are the only thing that protrude. Some describe them as burning yellow or green. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to cover it because it's probably the biggest yokai out there, if not one, like at least one of the biggest.
Hold on. Wait, they have a fire around them? You said yellow to green? I'm so sorry.
Their eyes are like described as like a burning yellow or green color.
Oh.
And it's the only things that protrude.
Oh god,
the
okay.
Burning yellow or green eyes.
Oof.
Their teeth and their bones rattle with a gotcha sound.
Which
that is.
Hold on. I think they made a reference to it.
Yeah, the first picture. Yep.
First picture. That noise.
The gotcha or gotchi is probably more accurate, but I like the gotcha because it's kind of funny
I'm
considering
gonna
the context.
getcha. I'm
Exactly.
gonna getcha.
But that is literally like their like trademark as a yokai is that sound, that rattling and that gotcha sound. Gotchi or you know I can't pronounce things, but you get it. You get
Yeah,
it.
we get it. We gotcha. We gotcha, babes.
But they aren't always noisy. If they happen upon a human out late, which is something they like to do, is stalk around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and look for people alone. But if they find you, oh gosh darn it, man! Oh my god, why? The timing is immaculate.
Bless
But
you.
thank you.
Bless.
If they find you alone, they will sneak up on you, even though they are ginormous. They will seize the opportunity to silently creep up on their victims, crushing them with their hands or biting off their heads and drinking their blood.
Oh,
Which, again, how crazy is it to think that that could sneak up on you with how humongous they are?
yeah.
But they like to sneak up and eat people, essentially. And you think you'd like feel its presence alone, like when you're being watched and you just can feel like you're being watched, even though nobody you don't see anybody.
Yeah.
I guess, but okay.
Like when I was younger, that was like a constant feeling where I felt like I was always concerned that somebody was like following or watching me. Less so now that I'm an
Right.
adult, but when I was a kid, that was like a frequent thing that was happening. Is I
You're like,
always
"Who's
felt
there?"
like someone was watching. I don't know. It was weird.
Right.
Maybe it's because of the religious upbringing saying that God watches everything you do. That probably fucked me up. Who knows?
That could be, that definitely could be part of it. But I think they're also supernatural, obviously, as a yokai. So it's like maybe that's part of why they were able to be so stealthy, even with their ginormous sizes. They are classified as a spirit being, and contrary to the West's notion of ghosts, the Gashadokuro have a solid physical form to them rather than being purely ethereal. And they're not just some old skeleton. No. They are composed of the skulls and bones of people who died on the battlefield. Oh, hold on. Oh, that was just you closing that. Okay. But they are composed of the bones. 1 second. Oh, yes, they're composed of the bones and skulls of people who died on the battlefield or those who died of starvation or famine. And with such deaths, the victims rarely get like a proper funerary service, like funerary rites. So their souls are unable to pass on, and then they are reborn as ghosts,
Oh.
eternally longing for what they once had. And these people obviously, with how they die in war or starvation, famine, they die with anger, they die with hate and pain in their hearts. And that energy remains even as their flesh is rotted away. And as they decay, their anger grows stronger and starts turning into like a grudge against the living. And this turns them into powerful supernatural forces. And when many tortured souls, bones, are gathered in one space like a battlefield, they form the supernatural being we're discussing today, the Gashadokuro.
Wow. And they're huge. So you said between 32 feet to 90 feet tall.
90, yeah.
That is big. That is
Huge.
a big boy. That's a big boy.
Big old boy.
Big old boy.
They are said to have the powers of invisibility, which is not great considering they're giant
that
monsters
would explain
that will eat
why they
stealthiness.
That would explain why they aren't reported more frequently because they're so big. You would think you would have missed them, so they had to have an ability of disappearing.
Exactly. That supernatural ability to become invisible. Exactly. And they're also indestructible.
What?
Which is,
like
bad news for people.
You can't.
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot. There's nothing you can do.
Oh fuck.
The only thing that you can do is ward them off, and this is only in some. It depends on the source you're looking at, but in some sources, it said that Shinto charms, like the Omamari talismans, are said to ward them off. And if you would show the picture of the talismans.
Of course. I'm sorry. Jinja's upstairs screaming his head off, and I'm pretty sure the entire podcast is getting him chanting. So I'm so sorry for the chat. And
You're all
for
right.
Spotify, you guys. Yeah. All right. These charms, yes. Oh wait, I gotta show you. Right, hold on. Please hold. These are really cool. And my lucky cat has a red envelope just like this that hangs off of its paw.
Yes, but say they are very common at like
Oh, I have one of the
shrines.
lucky cats too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love I love lucky cats. They're so cute.
The angry souls that make the Gashadokuro will continue to hunt prey until the pent-up rage and anger is fully released. Then the bones making up the Gashadokuro will essentially collapse and re-die. They'll be, at rest finally. Because their unambiguously malevolent behavior and origins, they classify as a mononoke, a class of yokai who exist as vengeful spirits who bring suffering and death onto the living in unstoppable rage.
Yikes. Yo.
Right? You
yeah,
like that?
That's why I said when you see it, you're kind of like you said, you can't beat it. And I'm all like, oh god,
You're kind of screwed, yeah.
Okay, so
Unless you got yourself a talisman to at least ward them off, you're kind of screwed. So don't be creeping around outside too late at night. Because of their status as like essentially big quote unquote dumb muscle, like they don't really have much thought process. They just want to kill, right?
yeah.
They actually tend to serve as other high-ranking yokai and sorceresses, like underlings, essentially. They use them as siege engines, which a siege engine is just like a huge device that'd be used to break through heavy castle walls and doors. So they would use these giant yokai as a siege engine to get through city walls and things.
But how do
they'd
you
also
control? How do you control said thing to do what you want, though?
See, I couldn't find information about
Okay.
how they did it. I'm assuming it's because they are the only ones that were able to do this were sorceresses or other yokai. So I'm assuming just with supernatural superiority or like some kind of powers, you know what I mean, being able to like control them. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but they didn't really give much detail on that one.
That's
But
crazy. Because I'm all like, man,
yeah,
being that big and being that scary, how do you control it and tell it what to do? Like, is there like something
exactly.
that ties it that you can control it? Kind of like Enchantress and the heart situation. Is there like do they have one of their bones? Maybe. How do you control it?
That's why that's a good point. I bet you it is something of that nature, or they maybe knew where these bones lied in battle or whatever, and one of the stories I'm going to talk about, someone raises them from a battlefield. So maybe it's something of that nature, like
Okay.
they raised them to become the Gashadokuro, and that's why they're able to control them.
Like summoner
But
becomes master kind of situation.
exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, they would use them as siege engines, and they would also be used as walking thrones. This would hype their master status for being able to control such dangerous beings. So, the first myth of the Gashadokuro dates back to the 10th century and is at least partially true. Like, this is intertwined with a real historical events, to some degree at least, obviously. And it starts with a samurai from the Kino region named Toro no Masakato. You guys know I can't pronounce words. He was ambushed one day by 3 of his own cousins, who he was fighting with, and I believe from what I read, they were fighting over a woman. And this enraged Masakato, who then retaliated by burning down his cousin's home, the 3 cousins' home, and killing one of his uncles, Kuniko. And then a man named Yoshimasa, who was either Masakato's uncle or cousin, wanted to avenge the uncle that Masakato had killed. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of uncle cousin stuff happening here.
There's a lot
Buckle
of
up.
escalating. A lot of fuel here.
It gets worse. It gets so much worse. But he wanted to avenge Kuniko and challenge Masakato to a duel. Yoshimasha would lose that duel, and embarrassed by his defeat, he would call upon another relative, Yoshikane, and Yoshikane, who was an assistant governor for the Kazusa province, allowed him to easily gather many warriors. And one day, or on the day of their battle, Masakado, despite only having about 100 ill-equipped soldiers, was able to inflict heavy damage and casualties to Yoshikane's huge army, which was said to be thousands strong, and he claimed victory, even with his small army. After Masakado's victory, he was summoned to the imperial court in Kyoto due to complaints made against him. Masakado's lord, Fujiwara, helped him get a pardon from the court. And in 937, Yoshikane, who was still aching to get revenge for losing the battle and the duel, went to battle with Masakado again. Masakado this time, though, was injured in the fight and tried to flee with his wife, this wife is who everybody was beefing about in the beginning with the cousins. But she was also the daughter of Yoshikane, the guy who brought the army for Yoshimasa.
Okay.
So he tried to flee with his wife, but it was unsuccessful. And it didn't say what that even means. It didn't say, like, what happened to him. It just said it was unsuccessful. And then it jumps. I'm assuming he was held prisoner and then released or something of that nature, because we jump to 939, where we find Masakado still alive.
Hold up. Time out.
Oh, Raid!
Welcome in, Mr. Chicken Doodle. What's up? Thank you for coming in with that raid. Welcome in, Raiders. We're doing episode 19 of the Thicc and Spooky Ghouls Podcast, and we are talking about some yokai. And right now, Meso is talking about... Hold on, I'm going to try and say it again, you guys. Hold on, I got to figure it. Gashadokuro. Or Gashadokuro.
Oh yeah, you said that way better than I do.
But welcome in. Thank you for that raid. Thank you for choosing us for that raid. Hopefully you had a good day so far and had a great stream. Let us go. Sorry. Continue on now, my lovely.
No, you're
Lisa.
totally okay. Thank you for the raid, Chicken. You know, we appreciate you. But yeah, we jump from 937 from this battle all the way to 939. And like I said, he must have been released or something, even though he was injured and captured. It doesn't really say, but he's still alive in 939. And he starts a minor rebellion, referred to as Tengo no Ran, or War in the Tango. Tango. I can't. Thanks. I love it, but I can't pronounce it. But it began with Masakada attacking one of the central government outposts in the Itachi province. I'm far too much of an adult to mention the other type of Hitachi, but you know. But later that year, he conquered Shimotsuki and Kazuki province, claiming the title of new emperor. The government in Kyoto put a bounty on his head, because obviously they're like, hey, what the hell? You know, you can't just call yourself a lord and take over things by force. And these are the parts that are historically accurate to some degree, is this, rebellion and this battle between this family. Essentially, it's just one family beating the shit out of each other. But the government in Kyoto put a bounty on his head for the rebellion, leading to another one of his cousins, Sadanomori. I know, it's ridiculous. Just cousins. Big old circle of cousins. Yeah. But his cousin Sadanomori and a man named Hidosato decapitating Masakado in 940. They then brought his head to Kyoto to collect the bounty. And Masakado's daughter, Takashi Hime, a famous and very powerful sorceress, was very much enraged that her father was murdered and then disrespected, when they cut his head off. So, full of rage, she conjured what would be the first Gashadokuro, using the bones of those who died in battle along with her father. So she essentially raised her father's army back from the dead into a Gashadokuro, and then unleashed it on Kyoto, ravaging the city until her father's head was moved to Shibasaki, which is present-day Tokyo. The head then became like a demigod to the people in Shibasaki, with a grave still standing today near Tokyo Imperial Palace.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
You know,
Oh.
I don't even know whose side to be on, but good for her. I'm all about the female
Right?
rage.
I was literally gonna say, I love the
Yeah,
female rage. You can't
for
really
sure.
go wrong with that. But in modern print, the Gashadokuros first appeared in 1966 in an article by Muroro Sato in the magazine Basuto Shoujo Friend. And in 1968, it also appeared in World's Bizarre Thriller Complete Works 2 Monsters of the World by Akito Shoten, and then featured in Arifumi Sato's Nihon Yokai Encyclopedia in 1972. And unsurprisingly, like many, we literally just talked about this, other yokai, they have appeared in different like manga and anime, like the manga Norahayon no Mago. In this manga, the Gashadokuro is never seen walking upright, possibly because of its lack of muscle. It's instead depicted as maneuvering like a worm on the ground, which is a fucking nightmare.
Ooh.
So imagine this
Sounds like a
giant
nightmare.
skeleton. Yeah, it sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Just doing the worm at you.
Is this
Just
hell?
90 feet long worm. Yeah, I
Oh,
would say we're in
God.
hell. This
Are
is
we in
this
hell?
is hell, and we are dead. Just that's terrifying. So
Oh, yeah.
scary.
It's like
and
the
then making the
human
gotcha,
centipede,
gotcha,
but worse.
gotcha noise. Exactly. The worst kind of fucking night walk to have is a giant worm skeleton creeping up on you, trying to snap you in half.
Yep.
They also appear in the film Pompoko, which we've discussed before.
Yes, we have.
Because it features, I believe, the yokai parade and different yokai in
Ooh.
general.
The yokai parade happens at Ghostwire Tokyo. Sorry,
Oh, I need to play that game more.
you need to play it. It's so good.
I want to stream it. I
and it's
hate it.
so
There's so many
creepy.
games I want to play, but I stop because I'm like, oh, I want to stream this, and then I don't stream.
Yeah, you
I'm
kind
a
of
busy
busy.
goddamn
You're kind
adult.
of busy being an adult, and
I hate it.
sucks, doesn't it?
There's too many games. I hate it.
Too many
Why
games.
am I not just rich?
Why are we required to sleep? Why is that a need?
Why are we under capitalism? God damn it! Why do I have to work? Just let me play my little games all day. Damn it!
Agreed.
But yeah, we've discussed the Pompoko before.
Mm-hmm.
And they also appear in anime, which in an anime I'm sure many people have heard of, considering it's got literally 1 billion fucking episodes, and that's One Piece.
Oh.
And in One Piece, someone who consumes a mystical zone devil fruit, which is, if I'm understanding correctly, is a fruit that gives powers to the consumer. The Yuri no Mi model of that devil fruit, Yuri no Mi model Gashadokuro mystical Zoan devil fruit, that's a whole mouthful, allows the user to become the Gashadokuro. The half Zoan form of this fruit only gives the user glowing skeleton eyes, but the full Zoan turns the user into the full Gashadokuro.
Okay.
So,
okay.
and I thought that was interesting. So they can consume the devil fruit. If you eat like a half a devil fruit, gives you the eyes and stuff of that nature. I'm curious. I didn't see if it gave them invisibility or anything like that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But if you eat the whole thing, then you literally turn into this giant Gashadokuro. It is also featured in Ino X Boku, which is another manga. And of course, it's featured in video games like Nioh, which is also has an anime adaptation. It's in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Yep, but say Dark Souls 3, and even in The Legend of Zelda's Majora's Mask, in which you fight a boss named Captain Kita, who is a Gashadokuro. Which Volgar was pretty stoked on that. And there is just a shit ton of examples of it appearing in manga and anime and all that jazz. So I'm not going to list them all, but it is a lot, which is not surprising again because, Japan likes to reference the yokais within its work, and anime and manga tend to be Japanese based. So that's not surprising, but I did not realize that's what the Captain Kita was in Majora's Mask. I've not played Majora's Mask, but I've seen him before.
Sorry, my throat is like...
No, you're good, love.
Sorry.
And I love yokai, which if you've been listening or watching the Thicc and Spooky Ghouls podcast, and this is one that I had never seen, actually, which is surprising because it has a lot of references. But yes, that is my topic of the Gashadokuro. And just like your guys' didn't have a ton of information, besides, just repetitive, the same information over and over again, but...
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought it was very creepy, very interesting.
I thought it was very cool. I think that shit's cool as hell.
Yes.
That is a
it's
cool
also,
one.
It's so sad at the same time because it can only form from misery, right? From suffering, from famine and starvation and war, which actually seems to be a big theme within not just yokai and like Japanese folklore, but folklore around the world, which makes sense, right? They base it off of history and things that are happening, around them. And when things like famine and war of that nature are happening, it seems to pick up a lot of
some people
things like that.
Like some people need something to blame to be able to cope.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
Or some kind of excuse to things that they can't explain. So they come up with their own explanations, kind of thing.
Especially when such, that's a perfect, exactly, because especially in times of war and famine, when there's literally nothing you can do but, keep on living, you need something to blame, you need something to put that off on to explain all the horrible things that are happening.
Yeah, kind of like when
or to put some kind of right to it.
When we were talking about the manananggal and how the monster itself feeds off of fetuses, and it was often like an excuse that was given to women that ended up having to have a miscarriage or something like that.
Right.
So it's just...
It would explain,
it would explain
where they don't feel
why.
like they're to blame. Yeah.
It's
exactly.
quite sad.
Although obviously women who have miscarriages are not to blame, but you know how it is.
But,
you're like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Them poor fucking weasels.
Yeah, the poor weasels just getting scapegoated for everything.
The scapegoats for trying to live in a rough climate, Who knows? Well,
I tripped on a rock. There's fucking weasels.
I'm curious on how, like, in the next 4 years, I'm curious how many, like, cryptids are going to start coming up, like new cryptids
popping up again.
Cryptids, you know what I mean? So
that or sightings are going to increase more again.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break and get ready for the ghoulish bites. I'm going to grab some water and we'll be right back. All right, I remembered to turn on my mic this time. So, oh wait, didn't unmute on the Discord though. But I was almost on top of it. Bigfoot rigged the election. Damn, Bigfoot did us dirty. Damn it.
Yeah, he fucked us good.
Why? Why,
Elon
Big?
Working together.
I even wore my champion of hide and seek t-shirt for you during the last podcast episode. How dare you, Bigfoot?
You son of a bitch.
Right? But
I expect that from the Jersey Devil, not from Bigfoot.
So we just talked about some pretty cool yokai. You got to learn about some brothel yokai. We talked about the Taka-Onna, the Rokurokubi, the Nukekubi. Then we talked about the... Hold on. It starts with a K. Hold on.
You can just call it the scythe weasel.
The scythe weasel. But I want to...
I like that.
Yeah, the scythe weasel. That sounds so deadly. The scythe weasel. The
Kama
Itachi.
Itachi.
Yeah, and we then just talked about the Gashadoku. Is it Gashadokuro?
Gashadokuro? Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So we just
Big old
covered those.
skeleton boy.
We're on to the ghoulish bites, and if you guys don't know what the ghoulish
Num
bites is, it's our little segment where we talk to our guests, talk about food and snacks, our guests' favorite snacks at this moment in time, and other things that we want to bring up that's relating to the topics, or just catching up from, from whatever we've missed or things that have been happening in our life. So we're glad to see you guys. Thank you for joining us for this very special episode. And let's go ahead and get into our P&G scene over here, the scene. So at the Ghoulish Bites, we talk about our favorite snacks. And lately, my favorite snack lately, God, guys, the cucumbers have not been staying in my fridge. And like, I haven't eaten it fast enough that it keeps on like being gross before I get to them, so I kind of stopped buying cucumbers. I don't know if it's just like I'm not in the season for cucumbers, or if I ate too many cucumbers that I'm just like
you burned yourself out on them.
Yeah, so my because it was like my happy like go-to, like if I don't want to eat, it's like something I would snack on. That was like,
I mean, I feel like I do that a lot with like I'll hyper focus on a certain food and then kind of burn myself out on it. And I'm like, oh, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
But I did I did try these mythical meats. So there's these I'm going to show you guys in the camera. So there's these mythical meats that you can get, and they're like exotic beef sticks. So they come in humanoid, or they come in the original mythical meat flavors. And the thing that I think is interesting about these is each one has 10, and each one is different, and each one is based off of a mythical creature or cryptid. You can see Bigfoot, you can see the basilisk. So anyways, but the thing that makes these unique from regular beef sticks is it's actually different types of meat. So like for the Bigfoot one, it was peppered elk and beef. So they have like beef mixed with other types of meat that aren't usual meats that we eat, like we have. So they have camel and beef, turkey and beef, chicken and beef barbecue, venison and beef. They had teriyaki pork. They had jalapeno pork, alpaca, venison teriyaki. Yak was another meat. They also have alligator, chorizo, which is not an, but I like, I'll give you guys the names. The griffin, they have duck maple, they have buffalo meat. So it's all sorts of different types of meats, and each one is a mythical creature. Like if you see, it's got Bigfoot, it's got the mermaid, it's got centaurs, minotaurs.
I love that.
Elf, trolls. So I've been snacking on these and trying all sorts of them. Like I haven't crossed off, but I was doing a little cross off on the ones I've tried, and I just lost track because I would just grab them and snack on them. Because like sometimes I like to have like just a beef stick and some cheese, like a mozzarella cheese stick, like a string cheese or something like that.
Right, I do that all the time.
And so I'll eat a beef stick with some cheese, and I'm like, okay, I ate. Thanks for that hydrate, Birdie.
Little girl dinner.
Yeah, so yeah, we're not sponsored. I'm just talking about them because I thought they were really cool. We are not sponsored.
Could be. We could do that. I just want to do that.
If they wanted to, but I just thought they were cool. And for anyone that has someone that enjoys like beef sticks or jerky, it might be a fun gift for them. So it's called Mythical Meats. If you guys wanted to look them up, and they might be a fun little gift for someone that that loves meat products or dried meat products specifically. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you buy them, try them. Tell me which one's your favorite. So far, I really liked Mermaid. Mermaid was delicious. I actually liked the Yeti, which is the yak and beef. And then last night I tried the No, I didn't try the unicorn. What did I try last night? I tried Oh, they had the chupacabra in here, but I did not eat that. I think I ate the. No, I think I ate the unicorn. I think I ate the unicorn
You
because
monster.
I. But yeah, I just thought they were really, really cool. So, Britt, what is your current favorite snack right now?
I really like cucumbers with a garlic dressing on them, as well
Funny, yeah.
as salami and what is it called? Borscht cheese. It's like a bread cheese that you use, but it's really good. It's one of Bishop's favorite cheeses.
Is it the
But
ones
that's
that
what
I
I
had that one.
it's like it comes in a round container and then you can just dip it's like soft cheese that you can just dip crackers in, or nah?
No, it's comes in like a box and then it's wrapped in aluminum foil
Oh,
Oh my.
oh,
type
oh
of
my.
deal.
Okay.
It's really good. It's like a garlic and herb type of cheese, but it's
That
really
sounds
good
nice.
on salami, and I love it.
Have you ever
I love
tried
salami rolls,
making
though.
cucumber sandwiches? Have you ever tried making cucumber sandwiches?
I eat my cucumbers the way I just described, and I also eat them with cottage cheese, and
Ooh.
sometimes I
Interesting.
put them on sandwiches. It's a
Yes.
good
I've never had
vessel
it
for
in cottage
cottage
cheese.
cheese.
So for
It's really
me,
good.
I would make a cream cheese with like different herbs and I would mix it together. And then I would spread that on a piece of bread. And then I would slice up the cucumbers and then put the cucumbers in there and then put it in between two pieces of bread and cut it into 4 pieces. And I like to eat it during the summertime when I want something, but it's hot. So I want something like refreshing like cucumber. So I make cucumber sandwiches. So it's like cream cheese mixed with different spices and then spread on bread with cucumbers, and then I just love cucumber sandwiches. They're great if you ever want to try them.
It sounds really good. I would definitely try it. I
So
love
it definitely sounds like
cucumbers.
something.
And I also, thanks to Miso and Vulgar, am craving tuna. So there's that. So
Oh,
thank you.
Oh yeah, we went
I'm
to
So
a
good.
Japanese buffet,
oh
and she had
Which is where we're
some
gonna take you for your promotion, by the way.
yeah.
I'm
Can't wait to be able to
so
eat again.
jealous.
I know, right?
Maybe
I
I
miss
can.
You'll have
food
to let
so
us know when you
much.
feel better.
Oh man,
Miss eating so much.
I'm gonna try and convince Ginger to take me to sushi for dinner tonight because now I just want sushi.
Mm.
Now I just feel left out. It's fine.
It was. I would take you there so fast. Although I feel like you guys probably have better sushi because you're right by the ocean.
Yeah, there's a couple places that I really, really like, but my favorite is currently like a 45-minute drive away, and I don't think we're gonna commit to a 45-minute drive away. So I might not get my favorite sushi.
The one that
but
you want, yeah.
But yeah. So
No, this
currently
was a really fun little catch to find was this Japanese buffet because me and Volga were talking about how we go to the Chinese buffet and it's kind of like gone downhill, the one we liked. And I'm like, I wonder if there's a Japanese buffet. And we found this place and it's so good.
oh nice.
It is. I've never tasted such great sushi in my life, honestly, in Ohio at least.
Especially in a buffet setting, like crazy.
Yeah. Miso, what is your current snack? I know you haven't been feeling 100%, so I'm not quite sure how your diet's been. I know that it's been really difficult, so I'm sorry,
But say
babes.
for that's okay. It sucks, but it is, hopefully I'll get back to eating normal food. But when I'm not dying, my current favorite snack, let me think. I've been really eating the shit out of these goldfish mega sharp cheddar crackers.
Ooh, yes. I love cheddar
They're so
flavored
crispy.
things.
Oh, they're so good. And I like how big they are cuz they're mega goldfish, so they're way bigger and they have like way better of like like a crunch to them.
Oh man. Um,
I really like the toasted Cheez-Its too.
ooh, you don't like goldfish? That's okay. I like Cheez-Its. I like the white
Mm-mm.
cheddar Cheez-Its. Those are
I love,
I can
yeah,
eat a
I love
box
white.
without knowing it. Oh.
Yes, I love white cheddar Cheez-Its and the regular
Oh.
Cheez-Its, but goldfish, they taste burnt to me.
They have a pepper
See, I
flavor.
love
It's
that.
a peppery flavor that they have. And yeah,
See,
it
I
is a
love
little
I love
I
a
get that.
enjoy.
carcinogenic flavor. I love a good burnt flavor.
I do not.
Speaking of
See, and that
speaking of
Vulgar will make fun of
burnt.
me when I do hot dogs because I just burn the
Oh
shit out
god,
of
you
them.
burn the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
She likes that
Fucking hell,
char.
dude.
Miso, are you like me when you roast marshmallows? Do you like
Oh,
put
yes.
it in the
They have to
fire
be
so
burning.
it burns, and then you blow it out, and then
Yep.
you eat the outside, and then reburn the inside, and repeat the process. Because that's how I do mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I like it
Brytt
on
get to watch that.
marshmallows.
Oh,
No, I do that with marshmallows, but most
Mhm.
other foods, if there's except for steak, I really like
Yeah,
when
steak
steak
has to
has a
be.
bit of
Yeah.
has to have some sort of burn to it, or it doesn't taste right to me. But I love my marshmallows being burnt to hell and back.
Yeah, I like my
It's gotta.
steaks bloody, so I like my steaks bloody.
Oh yeah,
So that
no,
But so they
the
have to be bloody, but
outside
with a
has
good
to be
char. Yeah.
yeah, the outside has to be charred, but the inside needs to be bloody, or else I will not eat it. I will complain the
Yeah.
entire
Oh,
time.
that's a wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Extra cooked steak is
I guess you would have to
for
just make the
demons.
stove higher and hotter to get the outside burnt, but
Well,
the center not cooked so
if
I think you
fast.
sear it.
if you use a cast iron skillet, it
Mhm.
works out a lot better because it sears the outside really quick while keeping the meat inside more pink. Bishop does
Okay.
it really well, and he makes really good steak. So
I would say Vulgar
Nice.
likes to do like a sear on the skillet, and then he'll put it in the oven to get it to the right temperature, so it has like that nice sear to it, but also is like
Yeah.
raw.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
a medium rare. That's where I like mine.
Yeah, and it's funny because I noticed that the times that I crave burgers or that I crave steaks is usually when my auntie of the month decides to visit, our
Yeah.
monthly auntie is when I usually crave things that are burgers or beef based. So maybe it's because my body needs iron or something. I don't
Mhm.
know.
It's
Yeah,
a
but say I
thing,
feel like I read about
and that's
something.
why
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of women should actually eat like red-based meats like 3
Mm,
days before they're supposed to start. So that
mhm.
way you have that iron in you already and it's getting replaced as it's being depleted and it helps your energy.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, so the days that I'm craving a steak or craving a burger, like really craving it, and that's what I want. And I choose a steak or that over sushi. That's how I know. That's how I know. I'm like, oh no, I don't want sushi. And I'm like, ah, fuck. Okay. But yeah. Uh have you guys tried roasting peeps before on a fire?
I haven't. That's
Oh,
something I'd try because I don't generally like peeps, but I bet
Yeah.
burnt to hell they're delightful.
Oh, so we had friends come over last night for game boards and the fire pit, and one of them brought the regular pink peeps, but then one of them brought the Dr. Pepper peeps. And
Oh,
girl,
how is that?
roasted Dr. Pepper peeps fucks hard. It is so delicious. It is so gosh darn good. Like I was so it was delicious. I like he brought like the big pack, right? So one of them
Right.
is completely empty and then there's like one left and we barely touched the pink peeps. We did some damage on the pink peeps too, but the Dr. Pepper peeps, I had like 3 of those last night. It was
Yeah, I
it's
can't be
so
trusted
good.
around s'mores, so I will just make myself so fucking ill. It's just like the perfect combination, man.
Yeah. So,
Narik
then
says, "Howdy, how are you?" Hi,
hello,
Narik.
Norik. Welcome in. I'm glad to see you. Thanks for coming in for the podcast. But what has been news for you guys? You guys have some pretty awesome news, both of y'all. So congratulations to both of you. My
Thank
good
you.
news is we finally decided that it was time to adopt a cat, and it ended up adopting 2 cats. So
Yes,
yeah, we're back to
I
being
love that.
a house with 3 cats, and one of them
I
is
think it's so sweet that you guys
yeah.
did that.
Oh, but they're meant for each other. So Ozzy is a black cat, and we've wanted a black cat. So I was searching for a black cat under the age of 1 male, and I told my sister what I was looking for, right? And when my sister talked to one of the vets where she works in UC Davis, um, they foster cats and they rescue cats and then they foster cats, and so we got to meet Ozzy, who was a 6-month-old black male cat. And then on top of that, the person that was fostering them was someone that worked with my mother. And my mother was working
Oh,
already in was already working, and this person started when my mom was already working there. So she knew my mom in the beginning of her
I
career.
love
And
that.
so it was really hard because he was like hiding and shy the entire time, and I didn't want a shy cat. I didn't want a cat that we would have to like search all over the place for, have a hard time getting him out from underneath the bed. Like I didn't want a hidey shy cat. And
Right.
so with him, he was really, really shy, but he let me pet his paws, and he started purring when I pet his paws. So I was just like, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. But the entire time I'm trying to get Ozzy's attention, the two other foster kittens, which one was Arizona. He was a very cute Siamese cat that I would have adopted if he wasn't already adopted. I would have like taken him home. And then Poppy, who was a small little orange cat, but she's a blind cat. Both her eyes are gone. And so I would watch him watch her, and whenever she would get into something that she would like end up like running into, he'll come up to her and direct her elsewhere. So he would watch out for her, and she kind of leaned on him, and she kind of let him become more outgoing than everything else. So together they were kind of a pair, and I saw their interactions. So it was kind of heartbreaking because she had already won us over, but we didn't want three cats. So we were like, okay, we're going to get Ozzy. And like after a week and a half of having Ozzy, I kept on checking in with the vet saying, hey, did Poppy get adopted yet? Does Poppy have a new home yet? How's Poppy doing? Like I was so hyper obsessed with like how she's doing. And my sister was in love with her, and then Tyler was in love with her. And after one of the one of the people that are taking care, like one of the foster parents, was talking to my sister, and he was talking about how Poppy had been very depressed because she was in a room with other foster kittens and all the cats were adopted and she was the only one not adopted. So she was by herself in this room walking around blind. So it was like just so heartbreaking for me. And I'm all like, we can make room for a third cat. So we had a long discussion and we ended up getting her and adopting her. And now we've got three cats again. So that's how we came across Lorna and Poppy, or Poppy and Ozzy. So I'm really happy
I
with
love
them.
that.
Ozzy was good, but then he got out of the first space, like the home base, the bathroom. He got out and got to my sister's room, and now he doesn't want to go back in that room. So we can't touch him. We can't approach him. Every time we would come anywhere near him, he'll run and hide underneath the bed, and we can't reach him. So it's been like we
Right.
made some progress because we were able to carry him and hold him to we can't even pet him anymore. So I'm just like, oh my God. And Poppy doesn't care. Poppy is literally like sleeping next to my sister. Poppy's like
Oh,
walking around the room like she owns it. Already, she's an indestructible force, but I love them so much. So that's my good news. How about you, Meso and Brytt? You both have very great news. You don't have to share what it is, but if you wanted to, you could. But congrats to both you lovely ladies.
well,
Yeah,
Britt,
go
do you
ahead,
want to
Miso.
share?
You can go.
I got a promotion. I got a full-time job like 8 months ago, six, somewhere in there. So, no, it was more than 6 months ago. I think it was like 7 or 8 months ago. But and now I have gotten a promotion to warehouse admin. I'm essentially the um manager of the warehouse's assistant. But I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff I got to learn, a lot of Excel stuff. It's very intimidating. I'm very nervous and anxious about
You
it, but
got
also
this.
very excited.
You got this, baby. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you. Congrats. Oh my God. I
Thank
was like,
you.
yeah, so good. So good.
Stop it. Thank
Good
you.
for you.
I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to take you out to dinner
Stop it.
to celebrate more
Y'all can
sushi.
tweet to me. More sushi.
Hey, you took me out for mine. Yeah,
know.
my good news is after literal years, and that sounds really dramatic, but it's been literal years,
Literally.
I finally got hired on full time at Reddit.
That is
Yay!
crazy. Oh my God.
That's so cool.
Congrats, babes. Jesus Christ.
And I didn't even
that is a
have to
dream.
go to college. Take that, Dad.
That's right. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's
No, I'm
that's
so
pretty
proud of you, though.
amazing.
That's amazing. That's such a cool flex, too.
Right? Can you
Like, yeah, I
imagine?
work at Reddit.
Right? Oh God, I'm so proud of you guys. But yeah, do you guys have anything you wanted to bring up? Other topics, anything else?
Not
Uh,
that I can think of. be nice to each other, in these trying times. Not to get randomly political or anything, but a lot of things are going on. So be extra kind to your LGBTQIA people and your people with autism and issues of that such, because boy howdy, it's gonna be a rough few years for everybody.
Yeah, it's very.
So just try to be
scary.
considerate of each other,
Yeah, be compassionate.
It's gonna be a terrible time.
Be compassionate and be understanding.
And, there's nothing wrong with being quote unquote woke. It just means that you're empathetic to others and their needs and struggles.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think that's the reason why I really got into the meditation, because I've every day I see myself doom scrolling. And it starts to put me in a really bad place, but then you can't ignore it. You can be like, I'll just ignore it, but you can't ignore it. So for me, it's just been so my energy has been so drained, and it's why I haven't really done much and why I haven't streamed as much. It's just I'm working on myself, but at the same time I'm improving, but then everything else around me is going to hell, and I'm just oh my God, please.
That's exactly how I feel. It's I take a few steps forward in my life, but either my body or society does this huge, fall backwards. And it's it's hard to find a balance between being aware and doom scrolling, right?
Yeah. And
it also feels very helpless, because what the fuck are, it doesn't seem like anyone is doing anything that actually can.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah. So it's been a lot. I am excited. Okay. Actually, you guys know, wow. I'm excited, but then this morning, I was excited when I found out about this, but this morning the news was really heartbreaking. Yesterday there was a festival that happened. It was the Lapu-Lapu Festival, and actually there was something that happened, and 11 Filipinos died during the celebrations. And
oh my goodness, the one in Canada, right?
Yeah. So waking up to that was a bummer. But I was really excited because you guys know what we specialize in is mythology and everything paranormal, everything strange, and all that stuff. Pretty much culture and the mythology behind it, the different cultures and different religions and different countries, etc. Right? But I was so excited because DreamWorks is working on a special project, and it's a project based on Filipino mythology. So I'm really excited for it because it's going to be called the Forgotten Island, and it basically brings up a lot of our very popular mythological creatures in there. So maybe the Manananggal will show up there, but you guys will get to see a bunch of them that I haven't covered yet.
I love that.
So they have DreamWorks is working on a film that is focused on Filipino mythology. So I
do love how much these companies have been expanding into other cultures.
Mm-hmm. And then
it's nice to see, but it's also a lot of money shilling.
Oh,
yeah, that too.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that one. And, I enjoyed Trece, which was a Netflix series where it talked about more Filipino folklore and mythology. So I'm excited that we're it just feels good to see your culture be seen by others. It's one of those things. It's great.
Absolutely.
And the next pope could be Filipino as well. So I will be out of control if that is the case. So
JD.
I so hope it's the Filipino pope. I am so worried. Looking into the candidates, so. I'm oh my God, this is absolutely awful. Oh my God.
Yeah, so if there is going to be a Filipino pope, I am being humble now, but I will be the proudest little bitch afterwards. So I don't practice religion, but that is a huge win. That's a huge thing, so it's something to be really proud of. So yeah, I'm going to be humble now, but I might not be so humble later. So I apologize for that in the future. But I also apologize for when I'm devastated and depressed, because it doesn't happen. So
I hope it does.
Sending positive energy out there, make it happen, please. We need
to put the positive vibes out there.
So yeah, I just wanted to, because this show is relating to that, I wanted to bring out the DreamWorks project that they're working on, because I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So
no, I love that.
yeah, do we want to bring up anything else, or are we ready to wrap the night up? Or does anyone in the chat have questions for us? Please ask
I think that's
them
it for
now.
me.
Brytt?
Yep, I don't have anything.
All right. We'll stay thick.
And you stay spooky.